Hello everyone, welcoming you all for Inspiring Stories podcast show, introducing you live stories. Hi, I am Rohini, so ambassador at College Innovators, author of the book Faith.Awarded. So we have an amazing person here. So Varun Katti, who is a social media influencer, a trainer and founder of Hammermindset. Right? So I believe that you guys all are excited to know his journey, his story, his secrets, and learn from him. Right? Make sure to stay till the end of this podcast show. You are going to get amazing values as well. Right? So welcome you, sir, to this podcast show. Welcome you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rohini. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Indeed, it will be a lot to know, a lot to share, a lot to talk about the journey that we have come through, and there is a lot to know about. There's a lot I heard about you, and indeed, we just got connected from long, and yeah, finally, we have made it for this day.
Okay, so that's awesome,
Yeah.
sir. So in the beginning, so we want to know, so your journey, so from this beginning of as a student, right? How was it, and how the your training journey has started, and your influencer journey. So we are eager to know, and so how you made it happen.
So it all began during my BCA days. I was a kind of student, an average student who never knew how to pass in subjects, but then had kind of good in extra activities, not always into books, but then yeah, into activities. So the way the education look at us was like, okay, they don't know anything was the mindset. Gradually, anyways, my college was supportive, and then I grew up in such an atmosphere where people were supportive to do things that we wanted to. When I after my BCA, I felt like coding is not my platform. I went into a job which is not going to be a relevant platform, or where I thought I would never make a life. So I switched to my career, doing my bachelor's in computer science, and then being an HR. So, being an HR, I was a guy who had my backlogs and going to different colleges and taking interviews for a company where they were recruiting Java developers. So that's very quite tricky. When you know how to communicate, when you know how to ask, when you know how to understand the person's perception, you gradually get to know, okay, where the word is and where we are. So that's when I grabbed this opportunity and then started going for interviews, and almost 700, 800 interviews we used to do it like during drives and all. And in 2 3 days span of then like that is when I realized like there were so many guys getting rejected because they don't know how to introduce themselves, they don't know how to talk, how to approach. I mean, a guy who is just like passed out with 21 years old, rejecting engineering guys with almost 1 or 2 years experience. You get the difference. Like, if you don't know how to represent yourself, it means whatever you have done for 21 years or 25 years studying is just waste. That's when I felt like, okay, this is where I need to find, this is where I have to help. It's not just city, or it's not just because it's a village. It's a problem with the generation, because we don't want anything to learn by ourselves. We want everything to be just served to us. So that's when I thought, like, okay, let me talk to these guys and let me create an impact. And that's when I started my first session in my own college for my own juniors, and that's where I created an impact. That's how it was.
Okay, sir. So you have started beginning from your college life as well, right? So, like, what are your achievements or proud achievements, and what is this? Can you tell me three secrets behind that? How you could able to achieve that?
Okay, there is only something secret as such, but to be frank, um, I'm not a person getting inspired by money, first thing. Getting inspired by people who try to create an impact. So for my first secret is always try to learn people, don't try to copy them. Read a lot of books, as many as you can. Any kind of book, right from a comic to one comic book to some very high standard novel, anything. But that it is giving you knowledge, learn from it. First thing. And second thing, do not ignore any words being said by your elders. Sometimes they'll give you suggestions of what kind of a business you have to start, where we are going wrong. You may feel like, hey, our generation is different, but still, their experience talks a lot. Listen to them. And third thing, when somebody is talking in your classroom or on the stage, never laugh, giggle, or try to put them down. So these are the three major things that will mold you as a person, is what I think in my life, and that is what I follow for the rest of my life.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, right? So you have told that so we have to read a lot of books, right? So what are So your top books that you can recommend or advise for youths.
Definitely for college students, I would like to tell people go with people who have just finished their colleges. Go with Rich Dad and Poor Dad who are not looking for job for now. Go with Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And somebody who's very creative and want to do something and have no clue where to start from, read Steal Like an Artist. So that's the second book. Steal Like an Artist is about how to create yourself, how to how to be something unique, copying from multiple people. That's how it is. And third book I would like to go with, if it is based on bit of spirituality, bit of life, bit of balancing thing from an experienced guy, almost 50 plus. So it is Naval Ravikant's one of the book, The Almanac. So these are three books I would suggest. These are the top three. Then I've read them very often to understand. There is every time you read the same book, different there is a different person that is getting generated within you. So I suggest these three books for any youngsters who are just getting out in the competitive world.
Okay, so that's awesome, right? So those who are watching this podcast show, so make a note of it and take action, right? Only you will get results if you take action, not just listening or getting the information, right? Yes. Okay, so do take action upon that as well, right? So Varun, so we would love to know. So what is your thought on so building skills? Why youths or students should invest their time, money, and energy to build their skills when they're in college, right? So not why not just concentrate on academics?
Okay, so this is I always keep telling, like your skill is what decides your salary, what decides your income. Okay. If you have skill, anyone will hire you. If you have skill, you can start any business. In terms of either it is if you know to talk, you know to represent yourself, you know how to, inculcate, if you know how to communicate with someone else. All these are different kind of a soft skills and hard skills. So once you try to understand this during your college days, the life after that would be very easy. But usually, what we do, we only focus on marks because that's how the education system has been training us. That never focused on what an entrepreneur has to be. So it always created a worker or an employee coming out of that and trying to find a job. What he's going to do, what kind of a job he's going to do, he has no idea. He's only aware of the titles, but has no idea. So, for example, somewhere it is a business development executive. Okay. In some company, it's going to be in a high designation profile. But in some company, you're going to be a sales guy on phone. It's not a wrong job, but what you felt and what you got is always different. So the reality and research is always different, right? So when you do it, search something on internet and prepare for it and then go for an interview, it's just that HRs have seen a lot of candidates like us. So we need to be very well prepared when we want to go, because you should be very sure, because the same career that you opt now with the skill that you have will feed you for the next 40 to 50 years. So it should not just go in waste. That's what I would like to share it with the crowd out there. Just be prepared with a skill that is going to bring food to you.
That's good. That's awesome, right? So, so Varun, so we would love to know, right? So how your like Hammermindset, okay, so company has started, and so your impact journey as well. So how many students you could able to impact till now? So little bit about your achievements as well.
Okay, it's called like kind of self-boosting right now, but then yeah, by now I've finished almost training 5,000 students all over Karnataka and Maharashtra, and I started with the passion of trying to create an impact. Most of my sessions in government colleges are free. Or somebody trying to grab, they can give me a call anytime. I have no issues. Any person who was watching this podcast or listening to it can give me a call anytime. I can come to a college and get your sessions done, not an issue. First thing, and then coming about the session thing, all I covered is all about people trying to, they have to learn how to create an impact. It's not just you learn and then you do things, it's you who have to create impact. And the Hammer Mindset journey, how it all began back in 2019, we were in college. I just got into my MBA, and then I already had a dream to start my own. This startup mindset. Wala kidas, we all have this younger generation. So in my college lab, thanks to my college, they had some innovative lab where there was a person called Edwin, who was a creative guy. So there was always that vibe you get when there is right people. So he had recently passed away, and the lab was not functioning. Like there were no students in the lab. So then I was like, okay, let me get into this. We got in, we felt that atmosphere, a lot of technology, a lot of innovations. So I was not a technical guy, but then one of friend who was there, who's a technical guy, he just told me like, what is Raspberry Pi, what is electronics, what is all this thing, where we are and where we're going. So I was like, okay, I tried understanding, and then I was like, okay, fine. Now let me go and pitch to college students. So we went to engineering classes. I took sessions on soft skills, personality, and resume building in my own college. So then students got inspired with it. They were like, okay, so let's do something. Post 9 to 6, after 6 o'clock there is light. There is still light till 9:30, 10 to do something creative. So got in a lot of people, got them with their interviews, how taught them how interview is going to be like, and made them do their presentations, like get into a session hall. So at that point of time, they were not sure why they were doing it. But then now, gradually, when they're getting placed into good companies, they just give a call and they say, "Yeah, it's working the way we did in those days." So that's how it started from a lab being a hammer mindset. It's about hammering each other's every individual mind and then molding them to a person that they are. So that's how the name came in when I and my friend were discussing. That's when it just popped. The name popped up, and here we are
Hmm.
today.
Okay. So that's awesome, right? So right now, so for students or youths, right? So what like if you want to share your best practices to follow, right? So what would it be?
One thing is, once if you're a student, if you're currently studying, your learning is not just to 9 to 5. It is after 5 o'clock. One thing very important, because the more you spend your time on your skills or extra activities, or the more you try to build your profile, because nobody knows you. There are almost 7 billion people in this world. Until and then you know how to sell yourself, until and then you don't know how to represent yourself, nobody is going to give a damn about you, me, or anyone in this world. So you need to know how to represent yourself. You need to know how to get the world know you, because maybe it is just an internet. Like for right now, when I was in my masters, I proudly used to say, what is that is not in your resume after this question, and I was always wait for that question from them. I would be like, if you search my full name and Google, you'll find me. So there is something not big deal. We all can get a profile visible on the Google, but then creating your own website, try to bring yourself on the top search. That is something very, very tricky. It's very simple. You can learn those things within 3 to 4 months if you put efforts of learning how to build a website, how to do Wix. So even Rohini has her own website, and that's how it works. So it's just a couple of hours of time every day. You just spend time and then try to inspire people. When people know you, that's when you can sell things. That's how it goes.
Okay, so that's very important, right? So the real journey or the real efforts has to be put after 5 o'clock. So that is very important point. So we can take as a takeaway. So from this, right? So like if you want to share any message to audience or youths, so what would it be? So yeah.
One thing is like, do not copy it from your brother, sister, your neighbor, your relative of what career they have opted. If somebody has done BCA or somebody has done MCA, somebody has done MCOM, MHRD, it's their life. They have opted what they wanted. So if an option comes in your life that what you have to opt, don't give a call to your mama, chacha, uncle, and then opt your career. That's going to be the worst thing that any X generation Z has to do. And a lot of research people say that our generation doesn't have consistency to stay in one company for more than 2.3. An average below rate would be 3 months to 2.3 months. So people will not stay more than this period. And then there is a question coming in by interviewers: where do you see yourself in 5 years? So do not try to answer this, try to handle this question. It's kind of very tricky question. So our generation should not be like, sir, I'll be in your position, I see myself in your place. No, that's not how it's going. You're going to deal that question. So this is very important. So know yourself, know your worth, know your values. So always have a book of habit of writing things, that write or just type whatever you want to, whatever makes you feel comfortable. What is your goal? What you want to do after 1 year, or where you are right now? What is that you think these are your weaknesses, and how do you improve on it? So weaknesses are always turning out to be a strength when you learn them. So write down all the 5 weaknesses, or 5 to 10 weaknesses, or 5 to 10 strengths that you have. Improve your strengths, and then change your weaknesses into your strengths, and then tell, when your interview asks you questions, they may say like, tell me something, some strengths of yourself. So you say, sir, my communication was my weakness, where I never knew how to talk, but then I took part into such sessions, such debates, and that's when I improved my communication skill, and here I am today in front of you. So that creates an impact that shows that you have put in efforts to improve from a person that you are to what you have come as a person in front of them for an interview. So try to represent yourself. So Rohini was telling me, I'm from a Kannada medium background. So then now look at her, how she's creating, trying to create an impact and hosting her thing, building her own community, selling her own book. So, like it just takes a spark, and then do not let that spark to be lit by someone else. It should come within you. And then do not follow one individual person in your life. Like they usually ask us, this is not the generation, the generation things have changed. Like, who is your role model? We usually say it is Papa, Mama, Gandhiji. No, bro, you haven't even studied about them completely. So just don't simply say it because you love them, or you just be getting inspired or what they have done in the past. No, here's what I say: Generation Z, not for us. We have to have multiple people as a role model, and then come out as one person. And do not copy one person completely. You will never succeed. So that's one thing I would like to say.
Yes,
Yeah, Rohini?
yes. Yes, thank you so much for that message, right? So, your journey, right? In your journey, there would be multiple low times, right? So, but we quit on the journey. So the point where we get low or we don't get results, right? So how you are overcoming and keep motivating or inspiring yourself to do more.
Okay, Rohini, one thing is, see, mental depression or getting hurt or feeling the pain is real. And yeah, if you are ever going through it, it's a period that you have to face. If you're happy and smiling one day, there is one day we have to cry. If not, then we're abnormals. So I was going through this period recently, just a month back. There was when I moved to Bangalore. I was working in Manipal, a place where there's greenery and pubs and friends and having fun, and then suddenly switching to this 9 to 5 career, and then like you're running all the day long in Bangalore. So adapting to this atmosphere was kind of tough for me, but then I got adapted to it. But mentally I was very broken because your friends are there is nobody near. All are far, like 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, and nobody just can come the moment you call them. Your things are with you, but you cannot use them. So your phone is there, your laptop is there, your book is there, but you at that point you just break down and you don't know what to do. You have to learn something, but then you want to get out. So the best thing is spend time with yourself. Go climb on a terrace or somewhere where people are not there. Spend time yourself. Feel the pain. Trust me, you need to feel the pain. But I'm telling you, there are certain depression points where people have gone through their past and trying to recall that. Maybe you need to consult therapists for that. Trust me. Never do a mistake of just trying to help yourself, just trying to help your friends. Sometimes you need therapists, so go for that. And what I would say is going through ups and downs is in all our lives. And I even come online on my Facebook or Instagram. Usually I come live on Instagram when I'm when completely low. I tell them to come and tell stories to people like, dude, I'm going low. I'm feeling like I'm not gonna do it and something like that. And then people inspire me. Like I go to session and inspire people, and then they come and text, sir, you can do it, sir. This is gonna happen. That's kind of reverse palindrome that you're trying to do. Like, you do something, you win. When you're trying to fail, you tell to people, and then they get to know, okay, it's not just he's gonna be successful all the time. There is ups and downs, and that's what he's sharing this to us. So that is how you create. So tell the world. Instagram, your social media is not always to just smile and post things. It's a place where you can express how you feel. Sometimes personal things should not be expressed, but then yeah, that's a place where you can actually express a lot of people at the same time. So that's how it goes. Your friends will come back and talk to you and try to meet you up. So that's going to change and create an impact. Social media is good as well as bad. So that's how it goes.
Okay. So that depends on how we use it, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So right now, so if you want to know more about Varun, right? So what he is doing, so his upcoming updates, so you can follow Varun's Instagram and LinkedIn as well. So the link will be put in the description. You can follow Varun there, right? And so if you want to know my updates, so I have a Telegram group, Rohini.K's VIP updates Telegram group. You can join in there. So like my upcoming updates on any events that I do, right? Any podcast, so that will be updated in the Telegram group as well. And do subscribe this channel for more podcast episodes, right? So I would love to thank Varun for coming and adding values here. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. It means a lot. Yes, and thank you to the audience as well who are watching till now. So you are so committed, right? Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and follow Varun as well for more values, right? Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everybody. So, yeah, so we'll see you in the next episode of Inspiring Stories podcast show.